Hello po mga kababayan, si Dante Maravilla. Pinailan na ng cyber libel perjury charges si Atty. Levy Baligod at saka yung 18 ex-marines mga kababayan. Yan, pinailan po ni ML Party List Representative Laila de Lima at saka ni Father Flavi Villanueva. Yan, sabi dito sa balita, de Lima nagsampa ng cyber libel case laban kay Baligod at 18 ex-marines. Sabi ni Laila de Lima, yung mga naniniraan niya sa akin, inuulit na naman nila, not again. Hindi ko na niya palalampasin yan. Dati na niya nilang ginawa. Yung paninira sa akin, inuulit na naman, not again. Di ko na papayagan. Sila nasirain na naman ang aking pagkatao o ang aking pangalan, sabi ni Laila de Lima. Ito, pakinggan natin si de Lima.
I'm from ABS-CBN. Ma'am, we just ask one question na po. Why are you here in the NBI, at the NBI?
I'm here to file. I'm with Father Flavio Villanueva, an assistant by our counsel.
Okay.
Attorney Lino Leon. We're here to file a complaint for libel and cyber libel.
Libel and cyber libel daw.
Marines and also against Attorney Levy Baligod.
Okay.
Sa kanilang kasinungalingan, yung sa pinagsamang sinumpaan sa laysay sa 18 na in-execute supposedly ng 18 alleged ex-Marines, and then yung mga inulit yung mga kasinungalingan ni Attorney Levy Baligod dun sa various interviews. It's very clear to me that these are being done yung pagsusulat ng kasinungalingan about me receiving whatever, receiving money, whether in a suitcase or in a paper bag or whatever container, is to besmirch my reputation and smear my name. Dati na nilang ginawa yan, yung paninira sa akin, yung inanuhan ako ng anong mga kwentong pawang kasinungalingan. And then inuulit na naman nila. So, not again.
Not again na niya, di ko napapayagan sila. Sabi ni Congresswoman Laila de Lima sa interview po ng mainstream media. Yung nasa likod po, same. Ayun, nag-react na rin si Atty. Baligod. Ready daw siya na harapin yung mga kaso. Pero yung mga napangalanan na niya doon sa mga affidavits dito, mga Marines, ex-Marines, dapat na niya sagutin din nila. Magpakita muna sila sa investigasyon ng NBI para ma-verify yung kanilang claims. Tama po, mga kababayan, dapat ganun muna. So, sa totoo lang, this is the same old network, mga kababayan, na nasa likod ng mga ingay ngayon. Itong mga propaganda nila. So dito, mga kababayan, sa politika natin sa Pilipinas, yung mga faces in controversy may change. Pero po yung mga networks behind them, madalas same po, pari-parehas lang yung nasa likod. Tama itong kwento, mga kababayan, dito. The latest wave of allegations niya involving supposed insider testimonies from group of dishonorably discharged Marines did not emerge in a vacuum. When one looks closely at the personalities amplifying the narrative, the political ecosystem begins to reveal a familiar pattern, one that traces back to the older axis of power in Philippine politics. Two names repeatedly surface in the ecosystem, Mike Defensor and Hermogenes Esperon Jr. For many observers of Philippine political history, those names immediately point to a well-known lineage. Both figures rose to prominence during the presidency of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, whose political network, often described as disciplined, strategic, and deeply entrenched in security and intelligence circles, remains one of the most resilient political machines in the country. Same mga kababayan. Sabi dito sa ating binabasang balita, Defensor served as trusted Arroyo ally and cabinet member, while Esperon, a former Armed Forces Chief of Staff, later became National Security Advisor. Same grupo na mga ganid. Mga ganid. Ayaw mawala sa posisyon. Gusto nila nakadikit palagi sa power. Both occupied pivotal roles in shaping political narratives during a period when information warfare, long before the rise of social media, natagal na sila dyan, was already a crucial instrument of power. The same group. Sasabi dito, the old infrastructure never entirely disappeared, mga kababayan. Instead, it adapted. Today, the same constellation of personalities appears to orbit a new political center of gravity. Nandyan na naman sila. The camp aligned with Vice President Sara Duterte. The alignment is not accidental. Political networks in the Philippines often migrate toward the most viable future power center. Kung sino yung pwede nilang magamit, tingin nila mananalo, doon sila didikit. Mga mangga, mga kababayan. And for many operators from the Arroyo era, Sara Duterte represents precisely that. Kaya nakita ninyo, bumaali-aligid lang. Kaya sabi dito, this context helps explain why certain narratives appear with such coordination. The sudden emergence of synchronized testimonies, the rapid amplification across systematic digital platform, planado mga kababayan na mga lumalabas, na mga kwentong kotsero nila, mga propaganda, may direktor. And the political targeting of specific personalities all suggest a campaign that is less spontaneous than strategic. Ang immediate target niya, sabi dito sa ating binabasa artikulo, walang iba yung ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Saka po, siyempre si Martin Romualdez. Both of whom remain central figures in the current administration's political architecture. Weakening either of them carries obvious implications for the balance of power heading toward the next electoral cycle. Sasabi dito, in modern politics, such battles are no longer fought solely through legislation or elections. They are increasingly fought through narratives. Kaya nababasa natin sa mga social media. Planado, mga kababayan, planado ang kasinungalingan. Nababasa natin yan, mga kababayan. Sa tagal na natin sa mainstream media. Alam natin yung mga taong mangga. Pinagdaanan na natin ito, ng mga taong ito. So sabi dito, information operations, once the domain of intelligence agencies, have migrated into open battlefield of social media. Nauso kasi yung social media, kaya ito na yung battlefield, mga kababayan. Viral allegations can now inflict reputational damage within hours, often long before facts have been verified or institutions have had the opportunity to respond. So this environment creates fertile ground for recycled tactics, dramatic insider claims, anonymous sources. Yan na mismo yung ginagawa ngayon, tulad ng ginagawa ni Baligon. Biglang pinalitaw yung mga 18 Marines, tapos nag-disappear bigla. Nang gustong tanungin ng NBI, biglang nag-disappear. Langya talaga mga tao ito. You see? And sensational allegations designed for immediate circulation. Pakalat lang sila. Sige lang ang pakalat nila, mga kababayan. Hindi yan lulusot sa atin kasi nakabantay tayo, mga kababayan, para i-expose ang kanilang kasinungalingan. Basagin ang kanilang kasinungalingan. Lagi kasing naglalaway sa posisyon. Hanap buhay nila politika, mga kababayan, dyan sila nagsipagyaman. Politics is their business, mga kababayan, for long time. So sabi dito, But what matters most is not the allegation itself. What matters is who benefits from its circulation. Kaya ingat po tayo sa paniniwala sa kung ano-anong kwento nila. Lalo't alam natin na mga talagang sunadong kilalang mga sinungaling. When a narrative simultaneously targets the leadership of the administration while being amplified by networks historically tied to earlier political power structures, it becomes reasonable to ask whether the episode is merely another instance of political theater or part of a larger strategic repositioning. The Philippines has seen such cycles before. Matagal na itong ginagawa nila. Pabalik-balik lang. Political alliances shift, old networks resurface, familiar operators return to the stage, sometimes under new banners but with the same playbook. Kaya mababasa na natin yung playbook nila kasi gas-gas na po. The same script, mga kababayan. What changes is not the method, but the audience. And in the age of algorithm-driven media, the audience is now the entire nation. This is why the public must approach sensational claims, especially those delivered through carefully choreographed media appearances, with a degree of skepticism. Real accountability depends on verifiable evidence, not a viral narratives or synchronized testimonies. Kaya hindi pinatulan po. Yun ang rason kung bakit hindi po pinatulan di pinatulan ni Ping Lacson yung palabas nila. Kasi magmumukha man na bobo si pag napaikot nila si Ping Lacson. Sa isip ni Ping Lacson, matanda na ako dito sa politika at hindi lang sa politika bilang pulis. Pagkatapos paiikutin lang ni Atty. Baligon, tapos ni Mike Defensor. Siya, siniswerte. Seasoned politicians na po. Seasoned politician and veteran senator at saka PNP Director General. Paiikutin lang sa... Di ba nakaka-insulto yun? Ano nagala nila kay Ping Lacson? Pol-pol para paikutin lang nila sa kamay nila. Hindi mo, bra. Galit na galit si Inday kasi hindi pinapatulan yung yung kwento ng mga Marines na malinaw po sila yung nasa likod. So sabi dito, mga kababayan, in the end, Philippine politics has always been a contest not only for power but also for perception. Naganda nitong analysis na sinishare ko po sa inyo. Sino niya, Mr. Maravillas, yung sumulat niya? Nadaanan ko lang dito. Napakaganda. Napakagandang analysis po. Truthful analysis, mga kababayan, ng present situation nitong mga pakulo, nitong mga kampo ni Sara. The difference today is that perception can now be manufactured faster than ever before, which makes one lesson from the country's long political history especially relevant. When new controversy suddenly erupts, it is often worth asking not only what is being said, but also what is speaking and whose network stands behind them. Correct. Alam na natin kung kaninong network ito at sino yung nasa likod. Kailangan pa bang sabihin natin? Pumutak agad siya nang hindi patulan ni Ping Lacson. Galit si Sara. Ini-ignore daw. Pero kahit gaano nga panira, mga kababayan, kay Martin Romualdez at sa ating Pangulo, diretso lang sila sa pagtatrabaho. Yung ating Pangulo nandun sa New York, United Nations. Si Martin natutok lang, mga kababayan, sa kanyang mga ginagawa sa Congress. May napakaganda nga na legislation na naman po. Ayan lakas CMD lawmakers file ginhawa sa kuryente bill granting minimum wage earners 50% power discount. Di ba? The Lakas Christian Democrats, Lakas CMD, led by its president, later Representative Martin G. Romualdez, has filed a bill seeking to grant qualified minimum wage earner household a uniform 50% discount on applicable electricity charges for the principal residence, which also providing automatic lifeline enrollment for marginalized and vulnerable consumers. Kita ninyo, tutok lang po sa trabaho. Yung mga ginagawa nila, yung kapakipakinabang sa publiko. Diba? House Bill 8191, 8191, forms part of the party's so-called Ginhawa Kit o the Kuryente Internet Trabaho Agenda, which aims to ease the burden of rising household expenses on working families. Ito yung mga dapat ginagawa, hindi yung mga kung ano-anong kalukuhan. Paninira. The measure was framed as a direct response to increasing electricity bills that continue to strain households, particularly those earning minimum wage who struggle to stretch their income amid rising cost of living. Lalo ngayon may krisis tayo dahil sa gera. Di ba? Lakas CMD has resolved to put this electricity relief legislation when a minimum wage earner works every day and still comes up short at the end of the month. We have a duty to deliver concrete relief, sabi po ni Martin Romualdez. And one of the most direct ways is to cut power costs at home, sabi po niya. Meanwhile, si Deputy Speaker David J.J. Suarez of Quezon and Deputy Speaker J.J. Congon of Zambales personally filed House Bill 8191 on behalf of Lakas CMD. Kapakipakinabang po ang mga ginagawa ng mga kalyado ni Martin sa Kongreso. Yung papakinabangan ng ating mga mamamayan, hindi yung kung ano-ano mga controversy, panlulokong ginagawa. Under the proposed ginawa sa Kuryente Act, Suarez said the 50% discount is designed for household with at least one minimum wage earner, applied to a single residential service account corresponding to the household's principal residence, subject to verification, anti-leakage, safeguards, and periodic revalidation to keep the benefit targeted and credible. Congon said members of the Lakas CMD stressed that this is the kind of relief families can feel right away because electricity is a basic need tied to health, education, and livelihood, and a power bill that keeps climbing forces families. Sige, ang taasan niya. Ngayon, yung gasolina dahil sa gira. To make sacrifices on food, transport, school requirements, and medicine. Ito yung mga totoo mga kababayan na mga leader na may pakinabang, hindi yung sige lang kobra ng sweldo. Kukobra ng sweldo, tapos maninira, tapos lalarga kung saan-saang bansa, tapos pa-interview, maninira naman. Maninira lang sa gobyerno. Wala nang sinabing matino. Sige lang ang panira. At ang sinisinaraan nila, yung nagtatrabaho ng maayos. Yan ang problema dito sa mga taong ito. For qualified marginalized end users whose monthly consumption does not exceed 50 kilowatt hours, Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega IV of La Union said the measure provides that the lifeline rate will include 100% discount on applicable electricity charges, with the energy regulatory setting the detailed parameters, a provision the authors describe as a practical protection for households that already live on the edge. Diba, napakaganda. Ito dapat yung pinag-uusapan, hindi yung mga suggestion ni Sarang magpadala ng eroplano agad-agad, napakadali daw. Sino palpal mga kababayan ni Yossi Castro? Saradoan niya yung airspace. Basta lang may masabi, mga kababayan, hindi nag-iisip. Ito yung mga actions na pinag-iisipan. Di ba? Meanwhile, Lanao del Sur Representative si Alonto Adjong, chairperson ng House Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, argued that automatic enrollment matters because many intended beneficiaries fall through the cracks when the system relies on manual beneficiary-initiated registration set up that tends to exclude families in remote areas or those without time, documents, or access to utility offices. Sabi naman po ni Deputy Speaker Janet Garin ng Iloilo, the Lakas CMD described the measures anya as a core component of the party's ginhawa kit. Kaginawahan ng mga taong iniisip, hindi yung perwisyo. Di ba? Legislative package which focuses on easing the cost of living through measures addressing electricity cost, internet access, tapos employment opportunities. She said that the kuryente component is designed to deliver the fastest and most tangible relief sa household level. Lakas CMD said the bill also aims to make the system fairer for renters, shared connection in household so service accounts may not be registered under the name. The ERC or Energy Regulatory Commission directed to craft rules that prevent exclusion and establish a clear, accessible grievance in correction mechanism. The following are also co-authors of the measures. Ito yung mga ang dami nito, mga members na hindi ko na isa-isahin. Ipakita ko na lang sa inyo mga kababayan. Ito, titino na members ng Kongreso. Di ba? Ang dami-dami na mga matitino na members ng Congress. To protect the program from abuse, the measure includes several safeguards such as one household, one account rule, limitation to households, principal residence, verification standards, designed to be simple yet auditable. The bill also provides for time-bound eligibility with periodic revalidation as well as penalties for fraud and misrepresentation. Ayan ang gusto ko mga kababayan i-share sa inyo kasi itong mga proposals na ganito, a bill in Congress, ito yung papakinabangan po ninyo. Papakinabangan natin lahat. Hindi yung puro intriga. Yung mga members ng Congress na aligned sa Duterte, puro intriga. Sayang sweldo ng mga taong ito. Puro lang tulad ni Suntay. Hindi lang intriga, kundi kasamaan, pagnanasa. Ayun. Patong-patong na kaso yung patong-patong na kaso yung kinakarap ni Suntay. Di ba? Lahat kalaswaan ang nasa isip. Anyway, yan man lang po yung ating short video. Ako po si Dante Maravillas. Bye-bye. God bless.